Scientists found that if you want a dog to try harder, learn faster, achieve a task, or work for a reward, then you need to release dopamine from their brain. This video covers 4 major scientifically proven and practical dog training methods, with number 2 topping the charts as the most reliable and effective. The first principle is based on the alpha dog theory of training. This theory is structured on the wolf pack behavior, which believes that dogs exercise behaviors in authority based on their rank or position in a pack. And for a domesticated dog, the pack involves themselves, other dogs living in the home, and you, the owner. Scientifically, there's a need to assert yourself as the leader of the pack in order to remain in control and to be the primary dictator of how things should be done. People who follow this philosophy believe that dog owners must show confidence and authority and are often told to eat first and walk first out of doors and tight passages to remind the dog that his or her position is lower in the pack. The theory postulates that the first step in dog training is establishing your position as a leader, and then it becomes easier to make your dog fall under your command when they look up to you as their superior, rather than a doormat they can walk all over on. The second principle is based on the theory of positive reinforcement. In this training, good behavior is rewarded, while bad behavior is ignored. And because dogs tend to repeat behaviors that are rewarding and discontinue those that bring them nothing, this training works by teaching dogs which behaviors are required from them. For example, a dog may be rewarded each time he goes potty the right way. After so many repetitions, this behavior gains memory and strength, becomes established, and continues as a repetitive component of their daily living. Trainers that utilize this method are rather committed to avoiding correcting their dogs in ways they deem harsh, fearful, or intimidating. Instead, to correct bad behaviors, they invoke a technique called negative punishment, which involves removing something that fuels a behavior in order to weaken it or stop it permanently. For example, an owner may completely ignore a dog barking for his attention, or simply walk away. Over time, as this technique is being practiced, it teaches the attention-seeking dog that barking doesn't bring the attention he desires, so gradually the behavior begins to fade away. However, there are 3 key things to keep in mind for the effectiveness of this method of training. Number 1 is consistency. Consistency is key when it comes to dog training. Dogs learn through repetition, so it is essential to be consistent with your training methods. This means that you should use the same commands, rewards, and training techniques every time you train your dog. Number 2, timing. Timing is another crucial precaution to be taken when it comes to this dog training technique. You need to reward your dog immediately after they exhibit good behavior, so they know what they are being rewarded for. Delaying rewards can confuse your dog and make it difficult for them to associate positive behavior with their reward. And number 3, patience. Patience is a key virtue when it comes to dog training. Dogs learn at their own pace, so it is essential to be forgiving and not to get frustrated if your dog doesn't learn a new behavior right away. With time and consistency, your dog will definitely pick up speed and gradually incorporate into their practice the behavior you're trying to teach. The third principle is based on the theory of classical conditioning. Classical conditioning works on the basis of association. You condition your dog's innate reflexes to react to subtle signals, and over time, your dog learns to associate the signal with the event. Ivan Pavlov, regarded as the father of classical conditioning, in his research found that when a bell was rung at the same time as the food was presented, over a period of time, the dogs began to salivate in response to the sound of the bell alone. Also known as Pavlovian conditioning, this is a type of learning that occurs when a neutral stimulus is consistently paired with a stimulus that naturally triggers a response. Over time, the neutral stimulus becomes associated with the natural trigger and can elicit the same response. In dog training, this classical conditioning is commonly used to teach dogs to associate a positive feeling or response with a particular sound or action. For example, a dog trainer may use classical conditioning to teach a dog to associate the sound of a clicker with a treat. The trainer consistently clicks the clicker and then gives the dog a treat. And over time, the sound of the clicker alone can elicit a positive response from the dog. This technique is being employed today and has proven very effective in teaching dogs a variety of behaviors and commands, such as coming when called, or sitting on command. However, as effective as this training may be, there are a few drawbacks and negative consequences to its practice. Dogs are constantly making these types of associations on a daily basis, with both positive and negative consequences. For instance, if a dog has a bad experience with a man in sunglasses, it might develop a fear of all men wearing sunglasses, which can cause them to show aggression just by sighting a harmless person in sunglasses. And this is why it's important to socialize your pup on time. Get them to meet different varieties of people so as to prevent the occurrence of this kind of associated fear. The fourth technique is termed balanced dog training. Balanced dog training significantly employs other scientifically based methods, including the alpha dog theory, positive reinforcement, and classical conditioning, combining them together to form a specialized training technique. Trainers employ both reinforcement and punishment, meaning they tend to use all the quadrants based on specific circumstances. For example, your dog may be given a collar correction when he or she pulls, and a treat when they don't pull. Or he or she may be continuously shocked with a shock collar until they stop chasing a cat, and receive praise when they see a cat but don't chase it. Science-based dog training is an effective and humane method of training your furry friend. By using positive reinforcement, you can teach your dog good behaviors and habits without causing harm or discomfort to them. This training method is based on the principles of animal behavior and psychology, which means that it is grounded in science and research. Science-based dog training can benefit you and your dog by creating a strong bond, encouraging good behavior, improving communication, and building confidence. With time, patience, and consistency, your furry friend will become a well-behaved and happy member of your family.